Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Hearthstone. I was gonna record a Yu-Gi-Oh video, but unfortunately, due to technical difficulties beyond my control, we're gonna have an additional Hearthstone video today. And, well, I don't know how much else to explain this deck. This is quite possibly the most brain-dead deck I have ever played on this game. If you have faced off against this on ladder, you already know exactly what this deck entails. Main game plan, get this guy out. Nothing more, nothing less. And you're gonna be cheating out just a couple of really big minions. Although, this is a slightly older list because most builds these has already cut Glug the Gulper. I don't know why, but I still face off against my fair share of aggro on the ladder. And having a taunt minion, like two taunt minions at that, can still work. And Thunderbringer quite literally ties this entire deck together, especially if he dies multiple times. And use your plethora of spells. Like this deck is like 70% spells, and only like a very small handful of minions. And then you cheat out any of your big fatties into play. It's a scam deck. It is one of the more prominent ones on top of the one that Druid does with Astral Communion. But I would prefer to play it in Shaman, simply because, well, I already played Druid a lot. Might as well try another class. And I have been wanting to play Shaman for the longest time because it is Druid adjacent. But I couldn't quite find the deck that I really wanted to play. It was supposed to be Murmur, but that's another combo deck. And Murmur got nerfed. So having Murmur at 7 mana definitely hurts. It ruins the tempo of the deck, and that one turn that your opponent has could very well be the turn that they use to kill you. I would go over the card by card, but this deck is so goddamn simple that I don't know why I should even explain a lot of it. The only thing that I will explain are the lines that you will take if you open with certain cards in hand. So, for example, if you open with Auction House Gavel and the Muckmorpher, that is an auto keep. You can mulligan any other card in hand, but do not, I repeat, do not keep Ancestor's Call with the Muckmorpher, because Ancestor's Call is not exactly picky as to what minion it cheats into play. So keep that in mind. If you open with Fairy Tale Forest and Auction House Gavel, then that is a wombo combo unlike you've ever seen ever in your life. Do not attack with the Gavel unless you absolutely have to. You usually use it to reduce the Muckmorpher down to 4, maybe 3 mana at best. Other than that, you use everything else to just make sure that your minions survive and or be better in combat. The other stuff in here, Reincarnate can be used as a removal tool every once in a while, especially if you're dealing against Libram Paladin. This quote-unquote removes the buffs that were on them, so it will make them far more manageable. Windchill, it's just a stall tool, and also the only consistent draw spell in the deck. I would put in Flash of Lightning in this deck. Hold on, let me look for it, because some builds I have been interested in trying this card out because it's 2 mana draw 1, and then your nature spells cost 1. Next turn, your nature spells cost 1 less. But it is an epic, and there aren't exactly a lot of nature spells in this deck. Yeah, even Ancestor's Call is an untagged spell, and the only other nature spells here are, yeah, Rock Biter Weapon, Devolve, and everything else, yeah, Fire. Yeah, there are only like a small handful of nature spells that you really want to discount here. So yeah, definitely not for this deck. But other than that, yeah. If you open with Ancestor's Call, you must make sure that you have any one of your fatties in hand as well, and then you mulligan away Muckmorpher and the other stuff. But other than that, yeah, those are the only like notable lines that you can take with this deck. And the flex slots here are Lightning Bloom and Ancestral Knowledge and Triangulate. Now these 3 slots could very well just be additional copies of any of the other, but these are the ratios that I found to be comfortable with. Otherwise, the core of the deck pretty much stays the same no matter what build of they call this Scam Shaman for some reason, or Muckmorpher Shaman, because it's built around this guy right here. I even use him for the thumbnail, and I tried to make him as horrifying as possible, so there is also that. You have one of the best board wipes in this game, at least at current moment. And yeah, I think the best way to truly explain this deck is to show you guys exactly how it works. And up against warriors, so this is definitely a control deck. And yeah, we definitely mulligan away Thunderbringer here. We keep the Gavel, and we use Scalding Geyser to hopefully find the other half of this quote-unquote combo. Reincarnate can be used on occasion as a removal tool, like I said in the deck tech. But if the stars do not align right, which can happen with this deck in particular, surprisingly. So we use the Geyser to dredge, and what do you know, we have Muckmorpher for next turn. Alright, cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire deck. And we might even outrace Pirate Warrior here, so there is that. So we already start reducing it, and we reduce it again next turn, make it 3 mana, and my opponent's gonna be very sad that this was how the draws went. I have no idea if Pirate Warrior can even compete against this particular deck. Good God. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted you anyway, so... so, we get Muckmorpher down, and wish my opponent good luck. Oh, hey, we can even do a funny thing here, so watch this. First, we're gonna kill the Scamp. Have one of the arms, and then we'll use Lightning Bloom. One of the few instances where Lightning Bloom is useful is when you already have a minion on board and you have other spells in hand. But now, you can do this. I mean, Pirate Warrior can have removal tools, but when advantage is this overwhelming, I am not sure what my opponent could potentially do here. I mean, they're just dead. Oh my God. So, one warning I did get about this deck: you either win your games really fast or you lose your games really fast. And this is one of those times where you win really fast. Oh my God. Yeah. That's the deck. You guys haven't even seen like the other more quote-unquote intricate lines that this deck has, but good God, it's just it's just 1 + 1 = 2. That's literally this entire deck. And then you add like some extra toppings on top of this pizza if you feel like it, but otherwise you won't really need it. Oh my God, this deck. Now I really have a good excuse to play Shaman, and to think that I held off on playing this archetype for so long because I didn't quite like it. But now that I'm, I guess, you know, finally piloting it, there is some sick joy in seeing my opponents lose that quickly, or, you know, I lose quickly as well. So, let's move on to the next game. Up against Warlock, and, well, it's Demon Seed or bust, so we're gonna find out what kind of flavor of Warlock my opponent's on, but, I mean, it's really only Demon Seed, so... I don't really need to keep too much else. This is bad. We can draw 2 cards next turn, potentially. Or, okay, we got Muckmorpher, so there is that. This guy wants to show up in my hand and when it's for a recording, but when it's just, you know, off camera, good God, I would have to fight tooth and nail to dig this guy, to dig this specific combination out of my fucking deck. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, man. Okay, opponent finally decided. Time to play Demon Seed. Then they will die on turn 3 because I drew Muckmorpher and the Gavel. Oh my God. Oh, this deck. Oh my God. And why this deck exists? And the funny thing is, in every video that I've seen about it, although it's actually bad that we drew both of them because there's always the chance that one or the other is going to get reduced in cost. I just hope that it's going to keep hitting this guy, but otherwise, I mean, having 2 4 costs in hand is decent value at least. So we're gonna find out who it hits right about now. If it still hits the other guy, then we are very, very golden. So we just play this guy out, and although it is Warlock, so they could have any number of spells that can immediately kill a creature like this, because it's only a 4/4, so it could literally be anything. And we're gonna overload ourselves to Kingdom Come here just to draw 2 cards, but better than nothing. Okay. We now need Ancestor's Call because we have 2 of our fatties in hand. And if my opponent doesn't kill this, which, I mean, they should have a way to kill it because it's goddamn Warlock. From the stories that I hear, Warlock is the closest thing to Mono Black in this game. So, at least I have that magic through line to go through. And yeah, as expected, they managed to kill it, and now we don't have mana for next. Well, we only have 1 mana for next turn, but I think it's time that we can afford, because my opponent, again, Demon Seed is a deck that takes its time and doesn't exactly win immediately. Although we do need an Ancestor's Call, otherwise we are just going to die. Okay, deal damage to an enemy minion, but we don't exactly have a minion on board. Okay, we are now unoverloaded. I think we should devolve this first, because Unlicensed Apothecary is not going to be fun for us to hit at all. There we go. This is far more manageable. Alright, opponent. Deal with my board with a 0-2 totem that heals. Let's see what else they do here. I mean, it's safe to assume that they just attack at my face rather than deal with the totem, because the totem doesn't exactly do anything. Although they do have a 0-2 taunt, so that is mildly concerning, because that means I don't have an easy way to deal damage to their face. Malefic Rook is a way to deal damage to themselves and also have a big minion on board. So yeah. Ever since the nerfs to this archetype in particular, they have been finding any and all ways to reduce their health and heal at the same time. It's an amazing, amazing thing to see. So we get Muckmorpher down, and hopefully we get Thunderbringer. Walking Mountain is not bad, but I just wish it would be better. So we're gonna get rid of the smaller creatures because we need to heal. We need to heal like immensely. Yeah, I guess we just leave that, and or we, you know, reduce it to like 2. Then hopefully we kill it with Jam Session. We don't have Muckmorphers anymore, so the Fairy Tale Forests are like dead cards. I think I shouldn't have attacked, now that I think about it, since we were already at full health, but we only had Rush, so we're just gonna hope and pray that we draw the Ancestor's Call and plop a minion down on board. The funny part would be, and I only managed to do it once, where my Demon Seed opponent was already finished with their quest line, and they had Tamsin in hand, but didn't have the mana to cast it. So I used Ancestor's Call and somehow sniped the Tamsin out of their hand, so they could no longer kill me with their own Tamsin effect. That was a way to stick it to Warlocks, and that's also the reason why I don't want to ever play this this class, because good god, this deck is so goddamn toxic. Oh my god. Okay, Flesh Giant is scary. If I don't deal with it soon, I will definitely be dead in 2 turns. Let's see what our draw entails. If it's Ancestor's Call, then yes, we will be able to survive, but if it's not, well, I'll just see you guys in the next game. Up against Druids, so this could be any number of decks, but there's only really Astral Communion to think about with Druid in particular. So, this is a race to 4 mana, and although it is scary to use Ancestor's Call against Druid in particular these days, simply due to the fact that they have a lot, and I mean the curve of their deck is like insane. Like a lot of their average curve starts at around well, that's what I get. That's what I get for not believing in ancestors, in believing in my ancestors. So I guess I draw 3 of my fatties. Oh my god, this is where I lose. They do have a lot of redundant big minions that they can cheat out. And that will definitely spell doom for me. And I will be doom screwed unlike no one has ever known. So we're still gonna try and play it out because we literally only really have Walking Mountain left in the deck because we already have everyone else in hand. So if I die, I die. So what more can I do? Unfortunately. And, yes, Arthas, you can do your thing. And yeah, this is definitely Astral Communion. He's just getting his win cons as soon as possible. We're just gonna do that. And if my opponent kills me, my opponent kills me next turn, because that's just how this deck works, unfortunately. He does not have it yet. He's still looking for his Astral Communion, so who's to say where it is? If it's not anywhere, then we can just kill him this turn, hopefully, but we will find out. Thunderbringer is not exactly what I would have wanted, but it is damage. Damage is damage, in spite of everything. So we're gonna see how far my opponent takes this. They're still doing that thing, so I guess they don't have it yet. But well, we drew Thunderbringer, so we literally have one of the last targets. Don't want it. There we go. Alright. So, we get that. Then we have that. And then, we go here. Then we try to resurrect him as well. There we go. Alright. If my opponent still doesn't have Astral Communion, they are dead. But if they have it and somehow still win, then kudos to them. But if they don't, well, they're definitely gonna die. Because I literally have lethal on board. Because this is like 7, 14, 21. Yeah, this is 28 damage just from the Walking Mountain alone. But if they have it here, then kudos to my opponent. Sleep Under the Stars will make you gain armor. No, you're still gonna try. Okay, opponent. You may or may not have it. Okay, you finally found it. 6 mana. Oh, it's not Astral Communion. Alright, cool. Alright. Definitely good on you, opponent. I will not even concede because I like Druid. But they definitely were on the knife's edge there. Good God. So the game was telling me you should have kept Ancestor's Call so that you could have sniped the barns that they had in their hand. See you guys in the next game.
No more niceties. Versus Tyrande.
Up against Priest, so it could be any number of decks. Shadow Priest is still rocking it, in spite being nerfed significantly because of Void Touch Attendant now being 2 mana rather than 1. We didn't draw what we need, unfortunately. I just hope that Scalding Geyser finds us the card that we're looking for at the bottom of our deck. So, okay, still Shadow Priest. So, at the very least, the nerfs made Shadow Priest a lot more manageable now. I'm actually going to save Scalding Geyser until they play out a minion. Because a lot of their stuff starts out having only 2 health. So, this will very easily kill whatever minion or minions that they can play here. And those are definitely targets. Okay, coining out something. I'm assuming this is the oh, Brain Masseuse. Alright, cool. Now that we have that out of the way, we're gonna do this. See what's at the bottom, and definitely Fairy Tale Forest. There we go. And we're gonna freeze the Brain Masseuse so that we draw the card that we just dredged up. And then, hopefully win within 2 turns. Yeah, this on 3, then Muckmorpher on 4. Yep, definitely that. So, yep, Papercraft Angel, that is fine. The minion that I'm going to summon is going to kill you in short order anyway, so that is fine. My priest opponent, go do your thing. Devolve. I can add insult to injury by giving my opponent devolve. Do I do that? Oh my god, do I do that? Do I dare do that? Because I'm very far from dying. Fun fact. What I can do is use Muckmorpher, then use Jam Session to like gun their board down. So yeah, I will do that. We'll do it next turn. And yeah, this is only why there's only 1 Lightning Bloom, because the Overload 2 definitely hurts. And so does Ancestral Knowledge, which is the 2 mana draw to Overload 1. There's a reason a lot of builds have cut like a lot of the Overload cards, because being off tempo in terms of mana in the wild format is very, very dangerous. If you don't manage to catch up even after being overloaded, then you are definitely gonna die. But opponent is well, beating me down pretty well, but unfortunately, I have this. Then we're gonna Lightning Bloom. Then we're gonna okay then. That is not what I expected to get. Because we got Glug instead of a Walking Mountain, I'm gonna devolve my opponent's board instead then. That's gonna hurt them more than it hurts me. And if they are so inclined to choose to get rid of Glug's bottom bits, then he's just gonna get even bigger. And there have been builds that are flip-flopping between how many copies of Triangulate there should be in the deck. Having only one, at least for me, is more than enough, because having two can get kind of bricky. So there is that. Okay, yep, deal 2 damage, and then what? You're gonna do that, and this is why older builds have Wind Fury, so they can give minions like Glug over here Wind Fury, so that it can kill the opponent, especially if you don't hit your other very important minions. I guess we draw the other one. There we go. And then, do we jam sessions just so that we can reduce my opponent's board down to literally nothing? Cool, we can do that. There we go. So my opponent's board is now that. And then they take 4 damage. I shoot them for 13 more. What else do you have, opponent? I mean, they could still have some way to kill me here. Simply because it's Shadow Priest. A lot of their spells only cap out at 2. So definitely very easy to kill me here. They could very well easily have it. Like, say, Acupuncture or a Mind Blast. They could have it here. But if they're just gonna do this, then they are very, very dead. And this is why Devolve also works really well against Priest. I am down to 1 health. Do you have any other attackers? No, you do not. So fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. There we go. Yes, I know it's impossible, but I still want to do it nonetheless. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna swing in. Yeah, again, we're BMing here. I'm gonna BM so goddamn hard. We're gonna get multiple copies of Jam Session, and we will kill my opponent finally. Let's move on to the next game. Up against Mage, and there are only 2 Mage decks that are popular on the ladder right now, and it's Imbue Mage or Hostage Mage. So we're gonna full mold this hand because, good God, I don't want any of those in my hand at all. Seems we're drawing another Legend, and oh, we do not. All right, cool. So the purpose of Ancestral Spirit in this deck is should any of your fatties die, they just come back, and this is really good in combination with Thunderbringer. It's really funny to just cast this on Thunderbringer because you usually end up having 2 copies of him. Or if you use this on Glug, then you will have like a literal full board of his tail, and it's really funny to think about. So what we'll do here is we'll use the Geyser first, then we'll use Triangulate. No, that is not what I'm looking for, unfortunately. So we're gonna get Lightning Bloom because it's the only other one of in the deck. We're gonna search, and let's see what we get. Up against Mage, so this could either be Imbue or Hostage Mage. I think we're gonna get Devolve. We're gonna get multiple copies of Devolve instead. And the shuffle will hopefully make my draws slightly better. My magic brain working here. We're gonna see. Okay, they draw 2 cards. Unless this is a minionless deck, in which case I am doom screwed by having that much Devolve in my deck. But we're just gonna see how far this goes. And Muckmorpher is nice, but again, I don't have a way to reduce its cost. So we just get him and hope that we get better draws in the coming turns. Getting a taunt minion is nice. That means my opponent won't exactly be attacking me anytime soon. And okay, Burn Down is a card that I did not expect out of him. Right, we finally have our Muckmorpher. We can't attack. I forgot about that. He has 0 attack. We have spell damage. Sure. None of our stuff are like offensive oriented spells. Okay, hot streak, sure. Opponent is being a fire mage here, quite literally. Smoldering Grove, you should have saved that in the future. Oh, I think I know what this deck is. I believe this is the combo deck that existed way back when and has been updated for the 2020s. It can still work, but it definitely needs a lot to go right in order for it to do what it needs to do. So, rather than me play the Muckmorpher on turn 5, I am just gonna devolve the board because they need this thing to be on the board in order to do what they need to do. Or we can also use Neptulon. But we can't do that as long as we have the Muckmorpher in hand, unfortunately. Because we could use Ancestor's Call. We could inevitably have a low roll of using Ancestor's Call to get the Muckmorpher down on the field. And I do not want that. Do we get rid of the taunt? I don't think so. Yeah, that's just fine. Their board is pretty much worthless at this point, or worthless at the moment, anyway. I believe those are their only two sorcerer's apprentices. I don't know the plural form of that word. Okay, freezing. That is fine. Okay, primordial glyph, discovering a spell. I'm assuming my opponent is in a panic of some kind. Okay, they discovered a secret, so there's that. Okay, arcane intellect. They're drawing 2 more cards. Let's see what else my opponent could potentially... Oh, okay, arcane giant. That is a good backup plan, so there is that. I guess we play Muckmorpher out first. Let's see what we get. Thunderbringer is nice, but now we run the risk of summoning Glug. I just hope that we get Walking Mountain instead, because we do not have the board space for Glug, like, at all. So, let's just hope and pray that we don't get Glug. Okay, we didn't get Glug, thankfully. So, instead we got the one that I wanted, and that's the Walking Mountain. So we gain a little bit of health here. And, yeah, I'm literally using the Walking Mountain as a removal tool. There we go. Now, if any of these guys die, we can fetch Glug out of the deck. Because I believe that is the only minion we have left in the deck. So there's that. And I should have been playing more around the secret, now that I think about it. But I did cast a spell, and the secret didn't trigger. So it's definitely an objection or an ice block. Could be one of the two. But I'm gonna find out soon enough once I cast the Ancestor's Call here. Sure. Freezing potion, I mean, that's to be expected. He's just stalling for time here. Now we just swing, and then we're gonna use Ancestor's Call. I believe we have enough space for his arms. Oh shit, just one. Right. Alright, at least we got their Zephyrus out of the way, so there's that. So, I guess I should just use this here. And hopefully live to the next turn, question mark. Because my opponent's just dead. Unless they have a board wipe. I believe they do. We're gonna find out soon enough. Okay, Smoldering Grove. Again, they should be waiting for that instead, but they do not. Alright, Magister's Apprentice. Do they have the other copy that will allow them to pop off like there's no tomorrow? Okay, cool. They do have the other one, but do they have... No, they have no more cards in deck. Okay, sure. Mana Biscuit, that is fine. So, that last card in hand had better be the banger that they were looking for. Otherwise, they're just gonna die. Okay, refresh Mana Biscuit, sure. I mean, these things did not start in the deck, so that's definitely a thing. Now they're gonna discover a spell. Hopefully, get themselves out of here. Okay, Arcane Explosion, sure. Just making space for my board here. And destroy minions, summon 2. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Do they not realize that I'm gonna fetch out like 2 minions a minion in the deck that has a lot of taunt? Okay, this is a really spicy win con, all things considered. Oh my god, just giants upon giants. That's cool. But they are gonna go into their extra turn. So And expectedly, we do not have the board space. So they could very well win here, and I am so glad I am catching this on camera. But my opponent, I guess, didn't have it. All right, cool. I was clenching my butt cheeks there for a second, but hey, a win is a win. Let's move on to the next game.
Versus
We're in a mirror match. Oh boy, and well, this kind of matchup, if my opponent is also playing the same deck, it can get tricky, especially if it's a race to whoever gets to Ancestor's Call first. So, oh boy, this is gonna be a pretty interesting bout. If my opponent's even on Muckmorpher, it could also just be Murmur, even though Murmur has been nerfed. It can still work. That is an indication that my opponent is not what I thought they were. Seeing Baku in a Shaman deck is usually an indication that they are playing totems. And that's a deck that somehow always catches me off guard, and I have never really won against a totem deck, surprisingly. And let's see what my opponent does. If he just plays a totem, yeah, that is quote-unquote a totem, so that is definitely to be expected out of my opponent. But we do have a Gavel and the Muckmorpher in hand, so we can play him on turn 3 and hopefully contest my opponent's board. Which will be very easy for me, because a lot of my minions are larger than his. Well, comparatively speaking. So, we're gonna find out. Alright, cool. Hydration Totem is definitely a totem that I will want to kill. Because it makes his minions a lot bigger. So we do this. There we go. Then we muck it up. And then thank the gods that I drew Lightning Bloom. Oh, Walking Mountain. That is nice. Now we're gonna do that. And then wish my opponent good luck. So this into this. And good luck, opponent. You don't exactly play during my turn, so let's see you deal, I don't know, 21 damage to this thing. You don't have a taunt yet, but if you do manage to get a taunt totem out, okay, you don't. All right, you're dead. I think this is lethal, so we're gonna see. So 7, 14. Alright, yeah, you're dead. Definitely dead. You definitely brought the Thunder opponent, but nice try. Let's move on to the next game. Up against Paladin, so this is gonna be interesting. Normally I wouldn't keep Devolve in my opening hand, but we're up against Paladin. We're gonna need it probably around turn 4 to 5. If it does come to that, oh dear God. Well, we do have enough, like, we have 2 stall tools, quote-unquote, should it come to that, so, we're gonna see, we are gonna see, so we do that, and we do that, we're gonna greet my opponent. Hello, welcome to the jungle, opponent. We have this on turn 2, and then we're gonna see what else happens. If we do draw the Gavel, now, no we do not, alright, cool. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna use Fatal Forest, then we're gonna get the other Muckmorpher out, and we're gonna wish my opponent good luck. If they start bringing down creatures by turn 5, yeah, the really big ones by turn 5, that is a minion that I never expect. Oh my god. But, you know, if it's a minion, yeah, oh my god. I never expect to see that one coming. But yeah, we're gonna dredge, see what we get. I think getting Ancestral Spirit is nice, but Geyser is a necessity. So we're gonna triangulate, see what we get. Ancestor's Call is nice, but we're gonna need more devolves. Unfortunately, we're gonna need a lot more devolves because this is fucking Paladin. And we're gonna need all the removal we're gonna get because it's Paladin. Then once they're out of minions that are significant, that are key to them and their strategy, then and only then should we start worrying about our own board. So, turn 4. Oh, it's not what I thought it was. Painter's Virtue definitely threw me for a loop. Alright, cool. So we're just gonna use that because we can. Muckmorpher. What do we turn into? Do we turn the Glug? Oh my god, I called it into existence. Alright, opponent. Deal with that. There you go. Have fun. I did not expect hand buff paladin to still be a thing here in Wild, especially after this thing was nerfed to no longer have lifesteal. It was insane when it had lifesteal. Like, why would a paintbrush have lifesteal? I don't know why. But now my opponent's gonna have to work through all of this shit before he can even get to me. Ooh, forging something. I believe that is the Muscleotron. Yep. It's called Muscleotron, but it doesn't even have muscle, so I don't know why you would call it that. I guess we just attack. Yeah, more than anything else. Well, first we play the gavel. There we go. Then we'll make him bigger. There we go. Then swing in. Do and do. There we go. And we'll even freeze this guy. And of course we'll reduce the other one. There we go. Alright, cool. And we're gonna see. Let's see what else my opponent has. I mean, they could still have a minion or two that can deal with this, and there it is. It's not going to kill him, surprisingly. Opponent, do you have any idea how dead you are? Oh my god. I'll just reduce Muckmorpher down, then hopefully I draw a revival spell and deal with this. Good god. Good thing I froze it. So we do that. Then we swing. Ouch. That definitely hurts, opponent. Or that hurts for you. But now we're gonna devolve your... Oh god. So I better kill my opponent before that goes down. So what do we get? We get another Glug. Deal with that, opponent. Have fun. Oh my god, this deck. Oh my god. And I don't know why. Again, adding Glug in is to taste. Because at least in my personal experience, I face off against aggro more than any other archetype. And adding Glug in is a way to stall for aggro. On top of having the Thunderbring that can bring itself back multiple times. But yeah, Glug is definitely a meta call. You can choose to not run him in this slot. But otherwise, if you don't have anything else, then yeah. Oh boy. Opponent is definitely dead. We're just gonna, you know, you brought the thunder, and we're gonna move on to the end screen. Okay, we're here at the end screen, and what more can I say? This deck is meta for a reason, and at least at the time of me recording this video on HS Guru, it has a above 50% win percentage. Yes. However, the sample size for that win percentage is so abysmally low that I don't know why people still recommend this deck. And I know why now. Because none of these minions have any innate protection. They're just big. And the shaman player that runs Muckmorpher just hopes and prays that their opponent does not have the removal necessary in order to deal with the board that it quote-unquote builds. And the spells, all of the spells in this deck are just here to support the top end and nothing more. This deck doesn't exactly have a plan B because all it ever really does is cheat all of these fatties into play. And this is why, that's why the numbers are probably as low as they are. But in spite of that, people still fear this deck because just like Muckmorpher's face, it can still jump scare you. So if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.